the gun, and then we'll go.
We'll never surrender.
Skin boots on a Saturday night.
Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here and welcome back to an all new DLC for Revelations video, and today I actually have an update in terms of the super Easter egg on Revelations. We've gotten an update from the Decrypter fixer over on Reddit. He made a post regarding the fact that he gets an overwhelming amount of messages, so I just want to put the point across. He's only ever going to give us information when he wants to. He's not going to give us any information because you guys constantly are spamming him with messages, so please don't message him. You're not really going to get any information out of him. He will only ever tease when he wants to, and he's not going to be giving any steps away, so there's no point harassing him. Now, previously the Decrypter fixer did in fact post a cipher that was then decrypted apart from the last line, and one of these lines actually read that we're going to have to get some sort of real version of the Apothecary Servant, and then once Revelations is released for everyone, aka on Xbox and PC, that's only once we're able to complete this super Easter egg. Well, in this post that he posted today, he's posted some new information. He said, beat Revelations, play the other fucking maps and put your heart into it like you haven't found an Easter egg on a map before. You won't be disappointed. He also did say, I won't reveal anything on the super Easter egg unless it future hints when you guys have gotten anywhere or actually even try. Even then it will be anon and up to you to believe or not. He also then said, if you don't believe that there is a super Easter egg, you're kind of being silly. This is in no way like Hitler Zombie, Bus Route B, etc. This has verified inners and not just one random string in the code. It's ducking everywhere. Get your heads out of your asses and play the game. This is close to the end, not the end. So essentially what he's saying is that there definitely is a super Easter egg, and I posted 2 videos prior to this one going up regarding the super Easter egg and what the storyline may entitle for it. What I think's going on is after we revert back to premise at the end of the Revelations Easter egg, what I think is going to happen is I think the cycle's then going to repeat. However, we would have used one of our blood vials at the end of the Revelations Easter egg from Mob of the Dead, and I think then the other blood vial that we have from Mob of the Dead is going to help us break the cycle, because once we revert back to premise, they live their lives and then they die, and then thousands of years later then Origins happens and then the whole of the Black Ops 3 Zombies happens. However, I believe every time the cycle repeats, the characters gain extra knowledge, and this time they've gained more knowledge than previously, and that is hinted to us by the fact that every time we start at one of the previous maps after completing all of the Easter eggs including Revelations, we are now armed with the RK5, letting us know that we've gained knowledge. And I believe Richtofen adds information to the Chronorium every time the cycle repeats. So I think now that the cycle has repeated, I think we're going to have to go back to these old maps and we're going to have to do the Easter eggs slightly differently. We're going to have to do things differently on the previous maps in terms of the Easter eggs, and they're going to add new Easter eggs as well onto all of the previous maps: Shadows of Evil, The Giant, Zetsubo no Shima, Der Eisendrache, and Garod Krovi, including Revelations. And I think we're going to complete this big cross-map Easter egg, and once we manage to do that, we'll get a second Easter egg ending on Revelations. I'm not sure what that would be, but what I think is going to happen is I think we're going to stop Dr. Monty somehow from repeating his reoccurring cycle, because Samantha says on Origins that we need to end the loop, and we failed to end the loop. Premise failed. We've been hearing that Premise will fail, and they have indeed failed. So somehow, via this super Easter egg, we're going to stop the cycle from reoccurring. We're going to end this cycle so that we don't revert back to Premise. So we must have to stop Dr. Monty somehow. Whether that means we work with the Shadow Man or whether we do it in some other way, I'm really not sure, but there's definitely this super Easter egg. And I think once we manage to break the cycle, what will happen is it will revert back to our original storyline from World at War up to Black Ops 2. We'll play with those characters once again, and I think the reason for this is because now that the cycle has broken, it goes back to just the linear storyline, so we don't have all of this messiness that is caused by all of the universes merging and bleeding into one. And I think the reason why we have the Mob of the Dead blood vials and why we've only used some of them is because we used one at the end of the Revelations ending so that we wouldn't fade out of existence, and the other one's going to be used as a reassurance policy, as Richtofen puts it on Zetsubo no Shima. So we're going to use it as a reassurance policy if everything goes wrong again, and I think we're going to use this second blood vial to break the cycle just like in Mob of the Dead. And we obviously have Al Arlington's hat within Mob of the Dead, and that's probably going to play a lot of use for us because Al Arlington was the only one who's managed to break the cycle. He managed to break the cycle within Mob of the Dead. And what I think is going on, and I saw a post about this on Reddit earlier, and I'm going to be making an in-depth video about this tomorrow, but I thought it was definitely a good point. I think Dr. Monty was using Mob of the Dead as like a testing place for this whole cycle concept, which he put into action for his perfect world for our four premise characters. He's put them into a reoccurring cycle of constantly turning back into premise and then carrying out the Black Ops 3 zombie storyline years later. But I think we're going to finally manage to break the cycle, and it's going to have some sort of connection to Mob of the Dead. I think that definitely Dr. Monty controls the red-eyed zombies, and he is indeed evil, and I think he was there on Mob of the Dead, and that was like his testing place for this reoccurring cycle. And if the Weasel managed to break the cycle, our characters too, and we've obviously seen the Mob of the Dead playing on Shadows of Evil and also the Giant, and we hear Nikolai, why do I keep hearing that name? So it's possible that we may indeed come into contact with the Weasel. It's definitely possible, and we've seen Peter McCain within the trailer, so that's probably got something to do with the super Easter egg. We saw another shot of Dr. Monty as well, and we saw a new shot of the Shadow Man electrocuting Richtofen. So there's definitely this big across the map Easter egg, which will unlock a second Easter egg ending for Revelations. And obviously we have the dead Magua hat within Shadows of Evil, and I think that's definitely part of this super Easter egg, as it works like the nav cards from Black Ops 2. And as he said within the original Decrypter fixer quote, he did say that there's going to be a way to get this real Apothicon Servant. So I think there's going to be a way to use this dead Magua hat to get this real version of the Apothicon Servant, but I don't know whether the dead Magua hat's going to be used on Shadows of Evil or whether it's going to be used on Revelations, but it's definitely got something to do with this big across the map Easter egg. And you get the dead Magua hat by killing the purple Maguas at the end of the Shadows of Evil main Easter egg. So yeah, we definitely need to get hunting. As Samantha put it within Origins, we need to close the loop. So premise have failed this time around. The cycle has repeated because we failed to save the children. I think that the children, or specifically Samantha, then Richtofen joins Samantha later, and then the other characters join them once they collect the 1.0 souls. I think the characters are trapped forever in this cycle within the house, so it's essentially like hell. I think Dr. Monty definitely has an evil side to him, and this perfect world isn't what it seems, and we need to free the children from the house and put everything back to normal. We need to end the cycle, which is going to have some sort of connection into Mob of the Dead. I think it's definitely got something to do with Al Arlington's hat. There's going to be a brand new Easter eggs added to all of the maps, including the Giant. We just need to figure out how on earth we do it. We're going to break the cycle, we're going to free the children, and we're going to put our storyline back to the World at War and Black Ops 2 zombie storyline, and then it'll set up the storyline perfectly for the comic book that's going to be releasing soon, which is going to be to do with the transit crew. So if we manage to complete this super Easter egg, it will lay the storyline out perfectly for this comic book, and then the comic book ending will probably lead the storyline onto the next Treyarch game. I don't think the ending of Revelations leads onto the next Treyarch game. I think the ending of the super Easter egg leads onto the comics, and then the ending of the comics leads on to the next Treyarch game. But anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Black Ops 3 Zombies news information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye. Are you guys interested in getting free COD points for 100% free supply drops and or liquid Dividium? Well, have I got news for you. There's going to be a link down in this video's description where you can download a 100% free app. Upon downloading this app, you can then install apps via this app as well as sharing the app with your friends to build up a ton of points which can then be used to get 100% free Xbox One, PS4 as well as Steam cards which can then be used to get 100% free COD points and or DLC. Hopefully this helps.